Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Left Behind DLC Survivor difficulty video walkthrough. We're back in the gifted hands of Ellie, and we're climbing on this ventilation system. The game declares that, well, Ellie declares, I should say, that if we fall off into the water that's now been electrocuted, you'll probably die, and I believe her. I didn't try, but I believe her. And there's slight dabbings of puzzles in the content. This is the first of a couple. It involves the pulling and pushing of this device, which is a big old like flatbed truck filled with pallets. And the only thing you need to do now is you need to open the next door, and then you need to wedge the pallets underneath the door so that it can't come down on you, and then you can crawl across it and continue on your little air duct adventure. But I think I saw something on IGN a couple months back mentioning, you know, a Last of Us sequel or some kind of sequel plans. And I'd be really curious where they can go with it. Because I think the world is interesting, I think the characters are interesting, but I don't know how much you can do from what they've already done. And I wouldn't want it to turn into that Saw-like experience of everybody's waiting for the gut punch. And you spend the entire experience waiting, you know, for the saddest, sickest, most deprived, most emotionally moving and just soul-destroying moment of all that completely reduces the character to ash. And then it gets to the point where, because you're expecting it, it's nowhere near as moving, which would suck, because anybody that saw, you know, any of the Saws after the first one will know that that series just became a fucking joke. But strategy here is very aggressive, and it's kind of random at times. This guy can be annoying depending on his pattern, but my strategy is very simple in theory. There are 3 dudes in this room, 3 runners and 2 clickers. Kill all of the runners, lure the clickers away from the door, and then open the door. And to do that, we've already killed 2 of the runners, we just need 1 more, which is this guy here. So I'm going to lead him all the way down here. Make sure he's still on me, which he is, and then I'm going to hit him with a bottle and I'm going to stab him in the face. Once I've done this, the clickers are already on their way to cut me off, and it does this amazing thing where they can't navigate the room as well as you can, and this should give you enough time to hit the door and get the hell out of here. Perfect. That does look quite simple, but the beginning of it is where all the skill and randomness can screw you over. The next room here, if you're extremely quick, you can skip it. So run directly for the button, don't mess about with no stealth, hit the button and then keep on bashing triangle to hit the door. Do not wait for the prompt, she'll do it before the prompt's even there. And if you do this correctly, you can just run up these stairs and get to the chopper, as Arnie would say. And I noticed that clicker's already out for blood, so I just think, fuck this, I know he can't climb, he's got really shit ankles, and up we go. And that is 2 extremely challenging rooms at first, if you do them wrong. Done very quickly and in a pattern that anybody can replicate. Which is the point of this guide, and the point of pretty much all the guides that I make. So Ellie finds some medicine. She also passes out, I think the game's trying to imply, because she's exhausted. Or she just has a moment, I'm not too sure. And we're going to have another reverie where we follow her friend and her younger self around this exact mall a couple of years before.
Wait, won't the soldiers spot the mall?
And this is another sequence in the DLC where there's a shit ton of really awesome character moments that I'm going to completely skip because I'm an evil human being. 2 of the moments on the bottom floor, one is the carousel that you can play with, which leads to some pretty nice exposition and interaction. Second one is going to be the photo booth, which leads to a pretty funny minigame of messing around in the photo booth and learning more about the characters. And then upstairs there's this one. So it's a quick time event narrated by your buddy, because this arcade machine doesn't work. And the only problem with this sequence is the inputs are a little bit shitty. So sometimes you'll press them and they don't register. I don't think it's my controller, because my PlayStation controller, aside from a sticky square, which really, really bugs me, everything else is flawless. But it's sometimes when you do the inputs too fast, it can bite you in the ass, so you'll have to be careful. But it's pretty simple, and there's a trophy in it if you do it perfectly. It also doesn't help that, you know, I'm not used to the PlayStation colours because I'm an Xbox guy predominantly at the moment in time, so when I colour code things, they're in the different places. Like, when I say them, I'm okay, because I know that X is A, and, you know, B is circle, and so on and so forth. I'm not too bad with that, but the colours are the ones that really throw you off, for me anyway.
Angel Knives blades begin to glow.
But there's the fatality. This is the end of the sequence.
Heart flies right out of
That is, see, there's the trophy for doing that all without a mistake or without missing one. I did not do it my first time, hence why that popped up.
A geyser of blood covers the entire playing field.
Oh, nice.
That is an ultra kill.
But it's just,
Angel Knives throws her fists in the air.
whatever Naughty Dog do next
Fuck yeah, I will.
is going to be amazing.
Not bad for your first game.
You know, they've got to that Capcom in the early 2000 moment of everything they put out is gold. And I just so hope that they don't lose it. Because I wasn't the biggest Crash Bandicoot guy, even though I acknowledge that Crash Bandicoot did a lot at its time. It kind of sold the PlayStation. It was its mascot. And, you know, Uncharted speaks for itself. It's such a fantastic game. It really did change gaming when it comes to the climactic Call of Duty Michael Bay bullshit moments, and it just made them so much more impressive than any other game did. And then this game came along, and I think we're going to look back at this in years and treat it akin to, you know, your Resident Evil 4s, you know, akin to your GoldenEyes, your Marios. I really do. And I think it's probably not going to be for the graphics, even though they are amazing, and it's probably not going to be for the gameplay, even though it completely suits it and it's, you know, perfectly fine. But I think it's going to be for just the mature story, the characters, and the writing. You know, I think this game truly has just some of the just realist, and I hate saying real because it sounds like some kind of rapper trying to be cool, which is not what I'm trying to be, but it really does have a humanity to it that a lot of games are missing, because writing is difficult, folks. Script writing, you know, dialogue is not the easiest thing to write. Everybody thinks it is, but it's not. And some stuff you can write and it can sound awesome, but when people perform it, it just doesn't work. So there has to be an understanding between the, you know, the director in the booth and the voice actor, or it's just not going to work. And Naughty Dog obviously have had a lot of experience in this area, so every single part of that process of the production is flawless. Like, the performance is given by the character who plays Ellie, and even Troy Baker. Like, Troy Baker gets a lot of shit because people don't like the fact he sounds the same, when unfortunately that's his voice. But he's still a really good voice actor, and he did a really good job in this.
Let's go again.
And it's
Go.
the story, man. Wow, just wow. If you've not played The Last of Us, you really need to. Like, even if you don't have a PlayStation 3, just try and find one, try and borrow one. It really is a transcendental kind of game. It just transcends what games are meant to be. And the next time somebody tells you that games are for children, just, like, show them the opening sequence of The Last of Us and then tell them to promptly shut their fucking mouth. But this is the water pistol section. The problem here with the water pistol is you have to cock it, and she doesn't seem to have to. Also, she can hip fire, it seems like, and you can't. You have to aim, which makes you much slower at shooting her. But if you get her 2 times in a row, not only will you get a trophy, but you don't have to do it 3 times, which is what you just saw then. This game, in all its pros, does have some weird checkpoints. It autosaves all the time, and you have no idea it's doing it, so it makes making a walkthrough and keeping the continuity right quite challenging, hence why there's going to be a fade coming up. Because notice the position of the guards right now, and then notice where they are after the crossfade. That is literally the second the game gave me control, and the guards are in a completely different path. So the strategy you're about to see will only work on a restart. And there's one coming up later on that works the same way, because I'm abusing the scripting. But once you've killed those 2 people, there's one guy left. He's going to walk around and come to the body, so I'm going to walk around and get him. Oh, excuse me, he didn't go for the body. He walked over there. And there's only 3 enemies, so now that you've done that, you want to run around here picking up all the arrows, because the stockpile of arrows that you get here is going to serve you massively for the final encounter, which is coming much sooner than you'd expect. And the reason why I'm saying grab the arrows is not only does the bow a 1-hit kill if you hit them right, but you can sometimes get your arrows back. There seems to be a random chance of them breaking. I don't know if anybody figured out what the probability of them breaking was, but somebody said that if you shoot them in the arms, they never break. but I shot them in the arms and they did break, so I don't really know how that works. I think it's random. But suffice to say, the bow is essentially a one-hit kill. It's tricky to use, but it's wickedly useful. And this game, oh god, it's so good. You know, it's been a few months since I've played it, and I know you haven't seen my game of the year. Excuse me, wow. That was disgusting. I might try and catch that. Remove it, because there's no excuse for burping on a commentary. But my videos for my game of the year are still coming. It's just every time I upload them, YouTube finds something about them that it doesn't like, and it's making it really tricky, and my internet's really slow, so blah 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 blah, I'm having issues. They will surface soon, and you'll just have to see where The Last of Us is on that list. And it's times like this when it makes me wonder, should it have been higher or should it have been lower? So this is a really cool room that reminds me of Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter, which is a first-person shooter from the N64 days. I remember it vividly because I once went into a shop that had it brand new and it was £100 to buy. That's right, folks, £100 to buy a game. But in that game, if the dinosaurs and the soldiers were present at the same time, you could get the dinosaurs to kill the soldiers, and it was an amazing thing that you just don't see in games, and I don't know why. So, congratulations, Last of Us, you're utilising something that's been around since like 1997, but still, I'm happy to see it because it's kind of fucking awesome. So, these rooms do involve a lot of RNG, which is essentially just a quicker way of saying randomness. Because the humans can kill the infected, and then you have to dodge humans, or the infected kill the humans, and then you have to dodge the infected. I prefer the infected because it's generally just clickers that survive, so you can utilise throwing objects, and then you can just sneak past them. But there are a handful of rooms that are going to play out very differently depending on that randomness. And the next one is a great example. In the next room, there's going to be a firefight between humans and infected, and on my first playthrough of the DLC on Survivor, the infected killed the humans, and I snuck past them, and it was easy. On my recording run, the humans killed the infected. I had to kill somebody, and then I was able to sneak past them quite easily. So, this next room could be different depending on how you approach it. Another thing to bear in mind, this pattern will only work on a restart, because if it doesn't, then it triggers the scripting super early and this will not work. So sprint forward here. There is a runner there, a runner on the far side, and a clicker to your left. So you're going to have to unfortunately crawl really slowly through this area and then really slowly through the next one. Because what you can't see on the other side is to the left of the door jam that I'm about to go through, there's a clicker. And clickers can hear a lot and they'll instantly kill you. So you need to be really careful. But come over to where the brick is on this Pepsi machine, and then what you're going to do is you're going to throw the brick just out that window or out the door, whatever you want. I do it out the door to give the infected a better chance to be closer to the humans. And then the firefight starts. I immediately pick up another brick just in case I need it, and be very careful here because, you know, randomly you could get seen by anything and they'll come and start killing you, which is kind of annoying. But watch this. This is a bloodbath, man. They've got just a firing range going on, and they can't get past it. I've never seen it be this brutal, but isn't it funny how they seem to have unlimited ammo as well, but yet when they give you the gun, there's 2 fucking bullets in it. Absolute nonsense. This guy's shooting 1,000,000 rounds. Cheater. But every human, I think, survived, and you'll notice he just climbed up, and that's where we need to go. So I'm thinking he's just completely ruined this run. But it's okay, you'll notice there's a ton of dudes in this room, so I decide to pull the bow out and try and take him out, and it works. As soon as you hit him, you want to start moving. Move up the right hand side here, and all you need to do is make an L shape towards where he was, and climb up. If done correctly, you shouldn't get spotted. If you're really unlucky, the AI will be on a different pattern and they might see you, and it's all about getting that cycle where they don't see you. I got this one attempt. It went beautifully, and hopefully you'll do the same. But hit the door, and what's going to happen here is you're going to run back to the area that you started in, and it's going to trigger the biggest firefight of the game and the climactic finale of the DLC. So, pick up everything you can here. There's quite a lot of combination materials, but I didn't pick up enough to make anything. And if you can make a Molotov, you can use it wisely here and take out maybe 3 to 4 guys, because there's so many dudes. But the thing I do is I take out the guy on the right, I take out the guy on the left, And then from here on, I know that about 4 dudes are going to come up this right-hand staircase, but they haven't spotted me yet, and that's going to happen, I believe, in the next video. So I'm tentatively checking around, seeing where people are, always ever conscious of stepping on glass because it makes a noise on Survivor that pretty much tells everybody where you are. And I'm moving over here. And what will happen is the NPC downstairs is going to say, go check the buildings, or something along those lines. And then 3, maybe 4 dudes are going to just come lounging up. There's 3 of them, but a 4th one comes from nowhere later on. So I don't really know how the spawns work. What I do know is this sequence is tricky. But this is the end of the video, guys, so I'm going to see you on the finale. It's definitely the most exciting video so far. Thank you for watching, and as always, you take care now.